Thank you so much. We are officially starting the program. Not really officially, as you see on the program, we have the minister. When she comes, we will do really the official opening. But for now, let's start with some ground rules and stuff. I would like to ask my honorables to go and ascend the stage, please. Yes, I would like you to go and take the high table for now. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, still find your program on the code, the QR code. Okay. We have people that are joining online. Thank you so much for joining. Yes. Good. When the minister comes, she will join us. We are starting with the first session on the program. The first session on the program is setting the scene. Before we do that, we want to assure you that we have a simultaneous translation that is happening. So put in your headphones. You can be able to hear English and French. Those of you who are joining online, on your Zoom platform, there is a place where you have, interpretation. Please click on that. You will be able to get the simultaneous translation of English and French. If you have a challenge with the translation and you cannot hear, there is a lady that is standing there. Maybe please raise your hand. Yes, she will be the one who will be assisting you. Good. My name is Slamingwenya. I'm not alone. I have my co-facilitator, Mutale. Yes, so we will be, Mutale, may you please come quickly? So I'm Slamingwenya. I'm coming from South Africa with a small company called Facilitation of Systemic Change, specializing in facilitating and all that. I'm working here with my co-facilitator. So we'll be steering the ship. If the ship sinks, these are the captains that will be making, the ship, to sink. Yeah, the Titanic. But if everything goes well, this is the team behind. I would like the members of the organizing team to stand up so that, we can see you. The members of the organizing team, please. So this whole event has been organized by, these people here. Ma'am, you have to stand up because you're also leading the pack. So if everything goes well, we have, to give this organizing team, the credit. But if everything doesn't go well, it's me and Mutalim. Thank you. We will be taking some pictures and recordings. This is really for purpose of documentation. I hope there is no one who doesn't want their pictures to be taken. If you don't want going once, going twice, okay, everybody, the pictures will be taken. Why are we here? 4 things we want to achieve. Firstly, it's really to take stock, of the state of, social protections in rural areas, especially in Africa. But also, we want to share some of the emerging trends, issues and gaps, in developing, inclusive, climate smart. I love this nutrition sensitive, shock, responsive, social protections and all that. What are some of the trends and how can we utilize this thing to beef up, the processes in the areas where we're working? Surely we have to showcase evidence to promote expansion of social protection. So social protection, that is a word that we'll be hearing again and again and again. And we would like, to have, some policy recommendations on how to actually, strengthen the issues of social protection and all that. So just, 4 things that we want to achieve. Okay, program overview, you have it already. We have 2 days that are jam-packed. You have the program with the QR code, but most importantly, tomorrow we have, the social outing. So I know a lot of people are saying, no, we're just here for 2 days. We won't be able to see Uganda, but we have something in store for you. After the sessions tomorrow, we are going out on one condition. On one condition. It depends on how you behave today and tomorrow. Then we will decide whether the social gathering will happen or not. Yeah? So the program is really jam-packed. So if you are a presenter, stick to your time. When we go for tea, come back on time, and we are very good for tit for tat. If you steal my time, I steal yours. Shall we agree on that? If you steal my time, I steal yours. Okay. We won't have time to do really the introductions, but later on I'll show you how we do that. We have a puzzle table over there. There is a puzzle with 1,500 puzzle pieces. By end of tomorrow, we should have put the puzzle together. So tea break, go to the puzzle, not with the people that you know. When you are there, ask them who they are and engage, and while we put the puzzle. And I would like everybody to go and participate there, the puzzle. Okay, and we'll be guiding you as we go along. Surely we'll have a very interactive session. We have individual reflections, PowerPoint presentations, and panels discussions. So it's gonna be very, very interactive, 2 days. With that, we go straight, to the opening remarks, and we'll start with, Professor Patrick Okori, the Executive Secretary for RUFORUM. He needs a very big round of applause and welcoming. Thank you so much.
Restful early morning. Some of you, I'm told, came this morning. Hey. Some of you came this morning at 2 a.m. and maybe have not slept. But we know that you will enjoy Uganda. The weather is good. It's a green country, and you are at the heart of where things happen in the country. And so, even in her absence, I would like to recognize the presence of the Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development in the government of Uganda, the Honorable Betty Amoe Ongom. Also online, the Assistant Director General and Regional Representative for Africa for the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Dr. Haile Gabriela Bebe, who is online. The FAO representative for Uganda, Antonio Guerido, and then all the senior staff from regional economic communities here present, all senior staff and leaders from the FAO, all senior staff and leaders from the International Labour Organization, all senior staff and leaders from the government of Uganda and other governments in Africa here present, excellencies, leaders, representatives of all development partners and agencies, executive leaders of public, private, and international agencies, development practitioners in your different capacities, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, let me say all protocol observed. Good morning and welcome to the regional policy dialogue on social protection for rural populations in Africa that has been organized by the FAO. Madam Moderator, just permit me to thank the guest of honor when she arrives. Still, we need to thank her for gracing this occasion as she pops in shortly with her presence. And accepting to be here in itself speaks volumes to the importance that she places on the issue of social protection, which is the focus of this meeting. And distinguished delegates, our guest of honor is a person who has the issue of social protection at heart. She has vast experience and reputation across the country and Africa as a whole. She is a human rights, democracy, and justice enthusiast who has worked hard to defend the rights of women in Uganda. And at global level, she has also been fighting for women's inclusion in national leadership. Besides gender and diversity, she has advocated for social protection of workers in the informal sector that comprises a large section of many of our economies. So to that extent, therefore, I find the Honorable Minister the right policy person to speak to us on this subject today. I also want to request her, when she comes in, to convey our appreciation to the government of Uganda for all the support given to make this meeting a success. And the combined roles of her ministry and that of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries and all related government agencies is really appreciated. Distinguished participants, also allow me to recognize the pivotal role that the regional and country leadership of the FAO has played in making this meeting a success. The Assistant Director General has really been a very strong partner of RUFORUM, especially tagging us along on many activities that the FAO is involved in. And we are grateful for giving the African universities that opportunity to make their voices heard in the right places. To that extent, therefore, again, we thank the FAO for such a fruitful and enduring partnership. I also want to thank all of you participants who have come from far and wide, as well as those who are online, for your presence, which is gratefully appreciated. Your presence speaks volumes about your commitment to ensure that together we are intentional in creating a safe and more equal world. And this is critically important, especially for agriculture, Africa's leading employer, whose growth has been demonstrated to show the highest probability of moving millions out of poverty, and therefore creating a more equitable world. Some of you already know, or you may know, that a 1% increase in grain yield alone, 1%, is able to move millions out of poverty. And therefore, growth in the agriculture sector has also been demonstrated to be the most effective way of addressing this big challenge of poverty and exclusion in Africa. But the sector still remains the home of the most poor and excluded people. And that's why this meeting is important. So Africa's agriculture is expanding and indeed has been leading for the last maybe 2 or 3 years or thereabout, but it is still lagging behind and a lot remains to be done. Over 50% of our population depend on it for their living, and it contributes 35% of our GDP. The prospects are great. It's projected to be a $1 trillion enterprise by 2030, up almost 5 times from 280 in 2023. But in spite of all that fact, there are still a lot of gaps and many people are excluded and left behind because of many challenges, biophysical, socio-political, economic as well. And in fact, many of our rural populations still remain exposed to lots of other vagaries, including climate change and weather variability that affects the livelihood options. So all of this put together tells you that the focus of the FAO and the partners and other partners on addressing the issues of social inclusion and protection, giving it a much broader speak, is actually what we should be looking at if we are going to have a more equitable world. Because currently, 500 million Africans are okay. I wanted to say that about 500 million Africans are living in multidimensional poverty. And with 1.2 billion, that's a very large population of people living in poverty. 82% of these live in the rural areas, and that means the focus of this meeting becomes even more important. So in 2015, as we all know, the world put their heads together to craft what we now know as the SDGs, and SDG 1, especially the target 1.3, focuses on social protection. And it is important because the aim of the SDGs was to change the way we look at how development takes place. A report by the ILO shows that sub-Saharan Africa, in fact, has the lowest social protection coverage at about 13%, compared with about 86% in North America and Europe. And so we have a very large excluded group. So Africa's low social protection coverage is a very worrying trend, and that underscores the importance of this policy dialogue. The Africa we want, as espoused in Agenda 2023 and approved by the AU summits, they all lean very strongly on social protection and its flaws, which is going to help us to deliver the continental vision. And to be sure, the Africa we want at 2063, when Africa will be 100 years after its independence, that vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful continent driven by its own citizens requires a rethink of how we are dealing with development practice. So in February this year, the AUC launched a refreshed strategy, the second decade of acceleration as it is called, and they put together 7 key investment areas. They call them moonshots. Now, moonshot number 6 focuses really on social protection issues, and there are 4 areas of concern which I thought I should highlight here today. One is about educating and skilling its African citizens. The second is about ensuring healthy lives and promoting nutrition. The third is full gender equity in all spheres. And the fourth is having a generation of engaged and empowered youth. And so the conversations we're going to be having today must speak to these 4 areas, because that's how we are going to get the change to happen. I am also aware that there is a global partnership on social protection which is being co-led by the ILO and the World Bank. And it has actually proposed some 5 areas to think about. They are calling them action areas that we need to think about if we are going to be having conversations and programming around social protection. And one of them is ensuring protection throughout the life cycle. The second is making sure there is a focus on universal coverage, including social protections, and ensuring they are gender responsive and inclusive. And then ensuring that nations own what they are planning to do. There's sustainable and equitable financing, and then participation and social dialogue, which is the type of thing we're having today. So I want to congratulate the FAO and all you participants for having this kind of fruitful discussions and dialogue that we're going to have. It is these issues and more which should form the basis of our discussions during this meeting, and I therefore urge us all to bring our voices, to make our voices to be heard and to be engaged during the dialogue. The Holy Rite reminds us not to despise the days of small beginnings. So there's nothing wrong with starting small. There's everything wrong with remaining small. So we should start from somewhere and grow. But our African people also wisely say that if you think you are too small to make a difference, then you haven't spent a night with a mosquito. And so don't underestimate your contribution and what you can do. You might be the mosquito, but it can bring down a tall man like me, down with fever. And so your contribution is not too small to be missed during this meeting. Make sure it raises the ripple effects. In Uganda here we say that the little boy who peed in Lake Victoria made a contribution even if you don't see it. It is there. So welcome to Uganda, and I hope you have a good meeting. God bless you all and have a productive meeting. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What I took, if you think you are too small to make a difference, wait until you find yourself in the same room with the mosquito. Yes, then you know that even the small things do make an impact. Thank you so much. We'll go straight, to the FAO representative in Uganda, Mr. Antonio Querida. Thank you so much. Over. He needs also encouragement, eh?
Yes. Good morning to all of you. Allow me also to recognize the Honorable Minister in absentia. I've been told that you'll be joining us soon, the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Allow me also to recognize Dr. Halek Gabriel, the Assistant Director General and FAO Regional Representative for Africa, Dr. Patrick Okiri, the Executive Director of RUFORUM, Honorable Flavia Kabahenda, the Uganda Parliamentarian Forum for Social Development, distinguished representative from Uganda government, and all friends and colleagues joining us for different countries in our continent, the development partners with us this morning, the heads of UN agencies, my sister and colleague Bintia, FAO representative in Liberia, distinguished participants, and also all my FAO colleagues here, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with a great honor that on behalf of FAO Director General Q Dong-Yu, that I extend a warm welcome to the government and people of Uganda and to all of you. Welcome to the Pearl of Africa. And welcome to this first regional policy dialogue on social protection for rural population in Africa, jointly organized by FAO and RUFORUM here in Kampala, Uganda. This regional policy dialogue is taking place in response to a growing recognition by African governments of the important role of social protection in addressing vulnerability and poverty, and its integration as key strategy in the national African plans, contributing to an inclusive but also equitable growth. Its scopes extend beyond safety net mechanism, aiming to provide sustainable interventions that uphold the dignity and the rights of individuals and communities, ensure that they maintain minimal acceptable living standard, free from poverty, hunger, and social deprivation. In Uganda, agriculture sector remains the backbone of the economy, contributing approximately 24% of the country's GDP and employing majority of the working population, around 68%. Moreover, of the 3 million households in the country's subsistence economy, 62% are primarily engaged in agriculture. Despite this huge agri-food system potential, estimates from State of Food Insecurity and Nutrition report indicates that about 31.6% of Uganda population is undernourished. More than 10 million people experience food insecurity, while in the recent 2022 Uganda Demographic Health Survey report indicates that stunting is at 24%. Friends, colleagues, Uganda agri-food system faces numerous challenges, including unpredictable weather pattern, pests and diseases, limited access to reliable markets. All these hurdles hinders their potential to alleviate poverty and ensure food security for the population. The transformative potential of well-harnessed food system cannot be overstated, as they have the capacity to impact every aspect of human existence and are fundamental to achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This is particularly because sustainable food system does not just help end hunger, they can help the world achieving the critical progress in all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that we have set to achieve by the end of 2030. Indeed, this desirable transformation of food system brings about multiple benefits, including the empowerment of rural groups, such as youth and and women, stakeholders, small farmers, leading all of them out of poverty and the related inequalities. It is also results in improvement of food, supply and distribution, reduce the stress on environmental, foster improved consumer behavior patterns with a minimal food loss and waste, and enhanced resilience to risk that disrupts the economy. Following the groundbreaking United Nations Food Systems Summit, which was held virtually as part of the 76th section of the UN General Assembly on September 23rd, 2021, Uganda has recognized social protection as key strategic solution for transformative change. FAO continues to play a pivotal role in linking social protection to agriculture and livelihood by supporting the government and other stakeholders in establishing inclusive and sustainable social protection systems that synergize with the agri-food system and rural transformation strategies. By supporting agri-food system transformation, FAO aims to ensure that these systems are more inclusive, more efficient, more resilient, and more sustainable for better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life, leaving no one behind. In collaboration with the government of Uganda, particularly the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, and the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, FAO has been actively involved in designing and implementing interventions aimed at promoting coherence between social protection and agriculture. In 2018, FAO supported the government of Uganda in implementing a technical cooperation project that piloted the feasibility of coherence between agriculture and social protection sectors. This initiative included national and subnational trainings aimed at enhancing technical knowledge of government officials on the relevant social protections on the relevance of social protection in agriculture and its impact on cross-sectoral coherence. The project significantly bolstered the capacity of key actors to design, implement, monitor, and evaluate effective food and nutritional security intervention for poor and vulnerable populations. In 2023, FAO supported the government of Uganda in a system strengthening project for expanding coverage of social protection for rural population. The project is ongoing and has helped the country to assess the current situation of integration of farmers' registries in strengthening the synergies between agri-food system and social protection. The support is intended to strengthen the capacity of Uganda government to extend coverage on social protection to small and medium-scale farmers in rural areas. Additionally, FAO is currently supporting a project in the vulnerable communities, particularly in Karamoja and the Cattle Corridor, to foster sustainability by integrating resilience into agriculture and pastoral production. This initiative aims to enhance the resilience of vulnerable communities, thereby improving food security and nutrition. Therefore, friends and colleagues, this dialogue is taking place at a crucial time, and when the UN family here in Uganda is also collaborating to develop and implement social protection intervention along the human life cycle, addressing the risks and the vulnerabilities and ensuring that social protection is shock responsive. In this collective effort, FAO remains committed to providing technical support to enhance the nutrition security of vulnerable children and mothers, and to promote decent work for the vulnerable groups while addressing their livelihood resilience through climate-sensitive and shock-responsive support. Friends, colleagues, as I conclude, allow me to extend my gratitude to the organizers, particularly to the FAO-RUF and the RUFORUM, but to all of you that have been contributing to the successful convening of this meeting. I also would like to express my appreciation to FAO Regional Office for bringing this dialogue to Uganda, underscoring the trust placed in us and our commitment to fulfill our mandate to support the government of Uganda. Special thanks goes to also the Ministry of Labor, Social Development for their long-standing collaboration with FAO. We are dedicated to continue our fruitful partnership towards achieving our shared objectives. Friends, colleagues, social protection for rural population is not just about economic stability. It is about creating opportunities. It is about enhancing human dignity. It is about fostering the sense of community that can withstand the challenge of modern world. So with these words, I wish you fruitful deliberation in the next 3 days to come. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. I'm told that the minister is here. So before we call our next speaker, I would like us to stand up and usher the minister in. Thank you so much. 2 minutes. Okay, so the minister is in the building. She will be coming shortly. And Abebe, I know he's joining online, and we would like, when he has this presentation, for the ministers to be around. So yeah, while we are standing, I would like to find out the people who are coming from government, if you are representing ministries from the different countries where you come from. Just raise your hand so we see. Okay, okay. If you are representing civil society organizations, let's have a look. Okay, okay. If you are representing private sector, let's have a look. Okay. And what about the rest? If you are representing, academic institutions, academia, research institutions, there we go. Okay, thank you. What about the rest? Whom are you representing? Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, thank you, thank you. So, we have to use this opportunity to get to know each other. Huh? We don't have it on the formal program where we do, the introductions, but please, please, please do yourself a favor. When we go to the puzzle table, make sure that you go with other people, you start, engaging with them so that, we get to know each other. Thank you so much. We can sit down. Oh, okay. Okay. That's fine. So maybe we pause a little bit because the minister is here. I think she was still in the holding room. She will be coming shortly. And I will definitely like the ministers to listen to the presentation. Yes, maybe you can just go and usher the minister in. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's do it this way. While we pause a little bit, I would like a few people to come and start, at the puzzle. Who wants to go first? So this is what is going to happen. We have the puzzle there. Before we leave, we need to have completed the puzzle. It's a symbol. You know, we talk about the issues of social protection, right? Everybody has a small piece. I like what Patrick said, you know, you have a small piece and all that. When we bring our ideas together, then we can be able to have a bigger picture. All the pieces come together. So we have the puzzle there as a symbol, but we want to see that all the different people that are here are able to put the puzzle together. So let me start. I will get one person from this room, from this table. If you don't volunteer yourself, I'll volunteer you. I volunteer you, please. May I volunteer you? Yes. Ma'am, may I volunteer you? Yeah, you go to the table. You are the one who are starting with the puzzle. May I volunteer you? Join? While we wait for the minister, may you please join the puzzle table? You do. Go. Ma'am, go to the puzzle table. Yeah, you done? While we wait for the minister, you go to the puzzle table. We have to figure out the puzzle and yeah. Okay. So we can move these. You have to figure out. By the time we finish tomorrow, the puzzle needs to be done. Yeah. Yeah. You can remove this. Ma'am, here, come this side. The puzzle, we have to work on the puzzle together and we complete it. You have to put the puzzle. And in the process of doing the puzzle, get to know each other as well. Yeah. Oh, we still have some more pieces here. Oh, yes, exactly. But this is the complexity of the issues that we are dealing with. Yeah? When we're talking about the issues of social protection, these are not easy things. So we want to see if we are able to put together the puzzle. Small pieces, we have to put it together. So let's imagine this is a social protection puzzle that we are dealing with. And we'll take turns, you know, to complete the puzzle together. Okay. We do that while we wait for the minister to come.
መቅረት ያለበት ነገር አለ። ከፍተኛ የሆነ ወንጀል የተፈጸመው እኛም እንደምንለው ብዙ ጊዜ ጄኖሳይድ ብሎ ዓለም እየሮጠ አይደመድምም። አርመኖች በዓመት ፈጅቶባቸዋል። ዮነስ የሚባል ለማን እንደሚጠቅም እርግጠኛ አይደለሁም። ለታሪክ ጸሐፊዎች የሚጠቅም ነገር ነው ግን
So we'll take turns. Don't worry, you'll have your turn to go and put up the puzzle. And remember, I said tomorrow we have a social event. We have to make sure that the puzzle is completed even before we go for the social event. Mm-hmm. Okay, while they are doing the puzzles, let me just see who is in the room. I might not be able to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, but, you know, just to have a sense of, you know, where people are coming from, the different countries that are represented here. I will start, you know, with people from Uganda. If you are coming from Uganda, local is lekker. In South Africa, we say local is lekker, which means local is good. Let's see. If you are coming from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, there we go. Did you know that at least with African countries, every country has a nickname? I come from the Rainbow Nation. Uganda is the Pearl of Africa. So I know there was somebody from, okay, which other country is represented here? Okay, let me see. You tell us the nickname of the country and what it is. Yeah.
From Ghana, the Black Star of Africa.
The Black Star of Africa from Ghana. Thank you so much. Any other country represented here? Yes, ma'am.
From Mozambique, the pearl of indigo.
Okay, from Mozambique, should I say bon dia? Govishta. Any other country other than Ghana and Mozambique? We start with a nickname.
The warm heart of Africa.
The warm heart of Africa. Who knows where the warm heart of Africa is? People don't know. Malawi. Yes, the warm heart of Africa. Yes.
Good morning, the giant of Africa, Nigeria.
Who knows where the giant of Africa is? Nigeria. It was quite interesting. I had a meetings the other day and we had the giant of Africa and they were saying, you know, when we cough, the whole continent catches cold. Yes, exactly. Any other country represented? How is the puzzle coming?
You want to speak in French? Sorry. Bonjour à tous. Je ne représente pas le Burkina Faso, mais je suis du Burkina Faso. Je suis de la FAO. Et le Burkina Faso, ça s'appelle le pays des hommes intègres.
Merci beaucoup. Okay, yes. Any other country represented? Okay, there we go. Does it have a nickname?
Well, it does. It was the former breadbasket of Africa and will be the breadbasket of Africa. Guess where that is? Zimbabwe.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other country that is represented?
Yes, I'm from Rwanda, a land of 1,000 hills.
Yes, the land of the 1,000 hills. Anyone from Ethiopia? The land of the origin? You know? Any other country that is represented? Okay. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Good morning. So I'm from Ethiopia, but I'm based in Ghana, working for FAO, Africa Region Office.
Yes, thank you. So, yes, all African countries have nicknames. So you have to familiarize yourself with the nicknames. How is the puzzle going? Very well. You're almost finished. Oh, Liberia, yes. Yes.
Okay, the first African republic. Anybody can guess?
Liberia.
Good.
Liberia, thank you so much. So let's see. You're almost finished. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have, you know, the chance, you know, to look at. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we can trade. It's still part of it. Yeah, it's part of it. But remember, it's a symbol. We're dealing with issues of social protection. These are not simple things. Everybody brings their different ideas. Look at the puzzle. Yeah? You're going to have a chance to go and assist there at the puzzle.
Yeah, morning. I'm from Kenya, and we are the pride of Africa.
The pride of Africa, yes, the pride of Africa, Kenya. Any other country that I missed? Okay.
Can I speak in French? Ok, merci. Je crois que je vais dire que je représente l'Afrique parce que je porte la voix des travailleurs et travailleuses de l'Afrique. Je suis au niveau continental, je travaille au niveau de la Confédération africaine des travailleurs et travailleuses qu'on appelle la CSI Afrique, qui est l'un des constituants de AELO. Nous sommes plus de 18 millions de travailleurs et travailleuses dans 54 pays. Donc c'est pour ça que je dis je représente l'Afrique. Et donc mon identité, c'est l'Afrique. Bien que je vienne du Bénin et que je travaille au Togo, je suis donc une panafricaniste. Merci.
Thank you so much. So maybe we can say we are from Africa we want, the Africa we want. Thank you so much. So let me see. I need a few more people to join the puzzle. Okay, yes. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's see. How is it going? You're getting there?
Yes, we are flipping them over.
That's fine.
Also.
That's fine. Okay, so for now, you'll still have a chance to do that. So I want you to take a seat. I need, how many people are we here? So I need 6 more people, 7 more people from the different tables. 7 more people, please. Yes, join the puzzle table. And remember, the puzzle, you get to know each other while you work on the puzzle. I need every table to be represented. Go. Please. Yes. Your table? I need people at the puzzle table. You ask each other, get to know each other while we build the puzzle. Please. The social protection puzzle, I need somebody here. Yes, please, please. Let's see. Yeah, so you get to know each other while you figure out the puzzle. Just imagine, yeah. Okay, we still have, yes, figure out, how we sort, the puzzle. Yeah, we need to be creating this big 5. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, the first team and all that. Remember.
What's the guide? What's the end result?
Here, the end result is the big 5. These are the big 5. Yeah. Some are here, so you have to figure out. But let us just imagine this is a social protection puzzle. Yeah? For us to be able to deal with the issues of social protection, we need to make sure that all the pieces come together. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get seated. Let's get seated. The minister is here. Let's all get seated. We'll continue with our puzzle later on. Okay. Shall we stand up and honor the minister? Thank you so much. Welcome. Honorable Minister, this is the meeting. We have people gathered here from different countries. We have people from Zimbabwe, South Africa, Liberia, Zambia, Mozambique, Kenya, everybody that is here. Thank you so much. We are really, really honored, to have you here. We had already started to get, some opening remarks from RUFORUM and, from Antonio. Before we give you an opportunity to address us, we're going to have an opening remarks from, Dr. Haile Gabriel Abebe, who's joining us online. He is the Assistant Director General and the Regional Representative for Africa with FAO. Dr. Abebe, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Dr. Abebe, give me an indication if you can hear us.
Yes, I can. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much. Now the stage is yours. Honorable Minister is here. And yes, thank you so much. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Honorable Betty Amongi Ongom, Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development of the government of Uganda, Professor Patrick Okori, Executive Secretary of RUFORUM, my colleague Antonio Querido, FA representative in Uganda, distinguished participants, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to you all at this regional dialogue on social protection for the rural population in Africa. It's a pleasure for me to join you, even though virtually, this morning, as we address issues related to enhancing the resilience of rural communities through social protection, fostering inclusive development in Africa. I wish to express my gratitude to the government of Uganda for graciously hosting this event, and to our partners, the RUFORUM, for collaborating with FAO in organizing this important dialogue. We have come together as key stakeholders representing government, regional economic communities, development partners, international organizations, academia, civil society organizations, and the private sector over the next 2 days to delve into the dynamics of social protection and inclusive rural development within the broader agenda of agri-food systems transformation. Our objective is clear. It is to engage in open and frank discussion informed by policy insights, data, and evidence aimed at addressing the multifaceted challenges faced by rural populations in Africa. Central to our deliberations is the imperative to integrate rural transformation strategies into social protection frameworks and vice versa, considering the evolving contexts in the countries. We know that most African countries are off track to achieve the food security and nutrition targets of the Sustainable Development Goal number 2 by 2030, as well as the Malabo targets of ending hunger by 2025, without forgetting the SDG target on poverty. Recent estimates reveal that approximately 282 million Africans, and this represents about 20% of the population, are undernourished, marking a stark increase of 57 million people since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, more than 1 billion Africans cannot afford a healthy diet. We recall that agriculture has made some progress over the past few years, even though it leaves much to be desired in terms of sustaining this growth. A closer scrutiny further reveals that the benefits of this growth have been unevenly distributed, leaving behind small-scale farmers and poor rural communities. As a result, poverty continues to prevail in rural areas in Africa. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the interconnectedness of agri-food systems, nutrition, climate variability, and inclusive economic development underscores the imperatives for a holistic approach that transcends regional and sectoral boundaries. Climate change introduces heightened risks, requiring preparedness and adaptive social protection measures to shield the most vulnerable from shocks, safeguard agricultural productivity, and enhance resilience, especially among vulnerable rural communities. Social protection emerges as an efficient instrument in our efforts to mitigate the multifaceted challenges faced by rural populations while fostering sustainable development in the region. Social protection plays a key role in addressing the root causes of poverty and vulnerability because it has the potential to prevent, to protect, to promote, and to transform. Evidence shows that countries with higher levels of investment in social protection experience positive outcomes. For example, a study by the International Labour Organization, ILO, found that countries investing at least 4.5% of their GDP in social protection have lower poverty rates and higher levels of human development compared to countries with lower investment levels. Investing in social protection not only benefits individuals and households, but also contributes to broader economic stability and resilience. A World Bank study revealed that for every dollar invested in social protection, there is a return of between 1.5 and 2.5 US dollars in economic benefits through increased productivity, reduced healthcare costs, and improved social cohesion. This timely regional dialogue, therefore, serves as a platform for knowledge and information sharing and exchange, fostering collaboration and partnerships among stakeholders with diverse expertise. Our collective aim is to explore innovative and evidence-based approaches within social protection systems that can be adapted, supported, and scaled up to effectively address the challenges facing rural populations in Africa. FAO will continue to support the efforts of governments, other stakeholders, and partners in promoting efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable agri-food systems and rural transformation to achieve better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, leaving no one behind. As we embark on the agenda for the next 2 days, let's be mindful of the sense of urgency of our collective efforts. The outcomes of our discussions will contribute in shaping the forthcoming FAO Regional Social Protection Strategy for Africa, and I believe will influence the trajectory of rural transformation on our continent for years to come. I want to encourage you all as leaders and champions of social protection and rural development to actively engage in the discussions, share your insights, and most importantly, take concrete actions to support the implementation of effective social protection measures for rural populations in Africa. In closing, I extend my best wishes for productive deliberations, and I look forward to the recommendations and meaningful outcomes of this regional dialogue. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abebe. Thank you. Honorable Minister, we have a puzzle there at the table, that table there. We have a puzzle. It's a symbol because the issues of social protection are complex. And we understand that the different stakeholders, they hold a different part of the puzzle. And it is a symbol because for us to be able to resolve, or to solve the challenges of social protection, we need to be able to put the different parts together. It's not enough to have the different parts. If they don't fit together, then we are not able to solve. So we gave them a task that by tomorrow, they should have put together the puzzle. And would like you, before you leave, you go and put your piece of the puzzle somewhere there. Yeah? I don't know, maybe one piece or whatever, to show that you are also part of the bigger puzzle of the social protection. On that note, Honorable Minister, we give you an opportunity to address that. Thank you.
I was still asking my neighbor what the puzzle is. Since I wasn't here early, I'm not sure, but I will try. Thank you very much. The Assistant Director and FAO Regional Representative for Africa, Executive Director of RUFORUM. I see our FAO representative here, and all of you in your various capacity. First, I want to thank you for choosing Uganda as the venue for your meeting, which shows the confidence that you have in Uganda as a country, as one of the countries that cares for regional integration, for African integration, and for designing solutions for Africa based on African solutions. So I want to thank those who chose Uganda to be our venue. And also to apologize for coming late. And you forgive me, I do not want to say the reason, but the reason is about balancing the family and politics. So, good reason. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank you, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, and RUFORUM for the collaboration, and to choose the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development to be with you in this very important topic of social protection, which falls within the mandate of the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. We are mandated to design policies and programs to implement social protection in Uganda, and we know that social protection is at the cornerstone of livelihoods of society, and that one of the core roles of government is to ensure that we secure, especially the vulnerable communities. And in Uganda, all the vulnerable communities is under Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. We have the youth, we have the women, we have the children, we have the persons with disability, the older persons, the workers. So when you talk about vulnerable workers, so all the vulnerable communities are housed under the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. So this is a very important topic for us, not only in Uganda, but globally at the regional level. You are here as Africa. And it is one of those potential areas that enhance the well-being of our citizens. And as a government of Uganda, we take very keen interest in supporting this sector. We look at it as a human right, that social protection is a human right for everybody, and that it is the duty of government to ensure that we provide social protection for our citizens, and that this protection must start with designing program and budgeting for key aspects that provides social issues like healthcare, like education, income support, and others to facilitate the livelihood of the country and its citizens. This is anchored in our Vision 2040, the National Development Plan, the NRM Manifesto, which is the Government in Power's manifesto, which outlines commitment of expanding the scope and coverage of social protection. And therefore, in following this, in 2015, government approved a national social protection policy, which provides a framework for implementation of social protection and programs in Uganda. And this policy recognizes social protection as a right, and that social protection is a society's requirement where all individuals should be secured. We should provide resilience to risk and shocks, and the realization that we must have a well-coordinated national social protection system for the provision of comprehensive and inclusive social protection provision that should ensure that we increase access to social security. We have a National Social Security Fund, which has now increased the membership to about, at the private sector level, to about 2 million that are covered under the National Social Security Fund. And at the level of government, the pension scheme is there. Some of our programs also includes income support and contributory social insurance. We have care, protection, and support for vulnerable groups. We have institutional framework for social protection and delivery of services. And if I'm to just highlight a few of those, under the Ministry of Agriculture, we have several programs for food security. The food security program anchors and supports communities through both government and private sector in ensuring that we provide seeds and seedlings to communities that cannot afford seeds. It's very important, because if people cannot afford seeds itself and quality seeds, then they cannot have food security. So we have this program where we give seeds and seedlings for free to community to ensure that we have food security. We have programs that also distribute one of the core Ugandan program or security for communities is someone having a goat, someone having a cow, someone having a chicken. Because when they are sick, that is what they use. They will wake up and sell a chicken and go to the hospital. They will sell an animal to pay school fees. Actually, in most rural Ugandan, when it is time for children going back to school, that is where most business people will go to buy cows, because it will be at a reasonable price, because everybody tries to keep cows as social security to provide education. So we have programs where for vulnerable community, in my ministry, we have a program, a social program, which is called Persons with Disability Grant. We have older persons grant, and we have also for women several programs like Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, the Youth Livelihood Program. All this gives small incentives for people to have those simple things in a home to secure them. We also have programs which we partner for shelter with some UN agencies, the Shelter Africa and so on, to provide housing as a social protection issue. Because without housing, it becomes very difficult for you to survive. We have also cash transfer, especially in refugee areas. As you are aware, Uganda is the biggest country almost in Africa for refugee, and we feel that refugees who are in Uganda should be supported. So we partnered with the other NGOs. We have cash transfer for the very vulnerable refugee communities, but also beyond that, we support refugee community with skilling. We have programs in Office of the Prime Minister. We have even program under our ministry that goes to refugee areas and say, for you to be self-reliant, we will skill you in tailoring, we'll skill you in welding and all sorts of things, and provide you basic tools to support you so that you don't, even if you're a refugee, you are not going to relegate yourself into abject poverty. We have other programs that support rural communities with like tractors to open their gardens, people who are unable. We have distributed tractors in almost all the districts, and now we want to have in constituencies. So in all that, we are trying to support the vulnerable to ensure that socially they are protected and enabled to support their families socially. We have also cheap financing for the vulnerable communities. In my ministry now, I have a program, a grant from the World Bank, which we propose its development after COVID-19. During the COVID-19, my ministry, together with the partners and approval by government, we realized that the women, the young girls, and the very low communities in urban areas could not order, because these are people who earn on a daily basis. We have here border borders. You must sit on a border border before you go. Has anyone sat on it already? No? It's the motorcycles. If you are driving, you will see all those motorcycles. Those are people who, most of them, they buy those motorcycles by loan. So they are earning every day. Part of the money they are paying back to the person who loaned them the motorcycle. So what they earn is a daily income that they will use for food and necessity. So they don't have earning at all. During COVID, we realized these are groups that we needed to support and others. So we had a cash transfer program by government during COVID. It is that time when, as a minister, I realized that after COVID, some of these people had loans that they had not serviced for 2 years. Some of the women who could not, if we didn't have an intervention, would not be able to cope with life. So we wrote a proposal. The World Bank gave us a grant of $217 million. It's called Growth and Opportunities for Women Entrepreneurs. It's a cheap loan that we are giving women at a maximum of 10% to recuperate the women out of the shock of COVID. Because the IMF and the World Bank, every time I sat in cabinet, IMF aftershock financing was for big businesses. So they kept on, every time we are debating is how do we get the industries back? How do we get this back? Then I said, but why are we debating only about big businesses? What about these vulnerable who can no longer get up after the COVID? Can we also think about them? Then I was told we cannot borrow for those social issues where money cannot be recovered very quickly. So we had to sit, we had to think deeply and negotiate very hard with the World Bank and say, if you're giving big businesses and government is providing aftershock money for small, medium enterprises, what about my women? What about these social people who don't even have assets to give the banks? So that is when we conceived this money, and World Bank accepted and gave us this grant, and we have started implementing, and I can see the women are really working hard, and you see people who had lost hope in life saying, yes, this capital can support me. So these are areas that, as ministries that are in charge of social protection, sometimes it's very difficult to argue for an intervention in social sector because there is no reward. There is no getting back that money. The money has to be sunk to support the vulnerable. So I am glad that you are discussing this matter at a continental level, and I want to hope that what will come from your discussion will inform our discussion, our policy, our program, not only for those who are already enjoying social protection, but also how do we get the many more that are still not enjoying social protection to enjoy. We have even gone into examine the legal framework. Sometimes social protection goes beyond what you see at the cover. We had these workers' issues where you have big corporation who now will have someone to subcontract to bring workers who are laborers, and they will not provide them with social protection. So the layers of looking at it must be beyond the surface. So we started now with our National Social Security to say, if you have been given a contract by government to construct the road, and you think those small people will hold for you the sign to say, first stop, hold on, the other side of the traffic is flowing, and you don't want to offer them social protection, because you want to go around the rules and say, these are casual laborers, you've got them from local people who have supplied you, local laborers. We are now going beyond the surface and say, even if that person gets injured in that place and you've hired them from a third party, you are responsible as the contractor. So you must give them social protection. And I'm glad Parliament agreed with me, and we have amended the Employment Amendment Act and included subcontractors to ensure that you, the main contractors, provide social security for that person. So those are things that we sit every day as ministers. You know, sometimes people ask, many people ask, but what do ministers do? Because most people think we sit and then people have to think and think for us, and you just put your signature. No, sometimes you have to go beyond just putting a signature. You must understand the sector that you are undertaking and ensure that the rules, the legal framework, the policy are indeed enabling the local population to benefit. So for me, it's a commitment, and I want to thank you for inviting me to open your workshop, and I will gladly wait for your resolution, and I can commit that if there are those that requires the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development of Uganda to implement, I can commit that I will drive that agenda of implementation. But also to commit that at the African level, I chair what they call the STC committee, which is the Ministerial Committee of the African Union on Employment, Labor, and Social Protection. So also at this level, when your resolution is anchored and those that requires the African Union implementation, as the chair of the African Union Ministerial Committee on Labor, Employment, and Social Protection, I will drive your agenda at that level. Thank you, and have a good deliberation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think another big round of applause for Minister. Okay, so this brings us to the end of, the opening ceremony. I would like you to take a picture with Minister here, and from there we're going to go and take a group photo. But I think maybe we can start here, our camera, so that, they can take a picture here. Then we go out and take the group photo. I think that has been organized. But Honorable Minister, the puzzle. When we leave, exactly. When we leave, it's just a symbol to say the issue. Yeah, we can take the picture here. As we walk out, then we go and find your piece of the puzzle there. Then we go and take the group photo. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, remove the chairs. Yeah. Okay, yes, please go. Yes. Okay. Let me also join the... Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So I'll lead to the puzzle. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So, Honorable Minister, the puzzle is just a symbol, because we are saying we are dealing with the issues of social protection, and everybody has to bring, the different, puzzle together, and it's a complex thing. So, yes, there we go. Yeah, we're going to the puzzle. Yeah, together with Prof. So basically, we came up with a puzzle, it's a big five. So we are saying the issue of social protection, everybody has got piece and pieces. So people have to find the pieces together and they put together the puzzle. By tomorrow afternoon, we are hoping that the puzzle will be looking like that. Yes. Because this is social protection, it's a small issue here and all that. So this is a symbol. Just a minute, find the puzzle that fits together with them. It's just a token. Yeah. Yeah, Patrick. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't know. So this is the symbol to say, when we deal with the issues of social protection, if we don't find the pieces that fit together, we are not getting the solutions. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's fine. So that was just a symbol and a token. Patrick, also find yours. Fine. Okay, there we go. Yes. Yes. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, you got it. Thank you so much. Let's go for the for the group photo, and thank you so much. We go for tea. Thank you. Let's hurry up. We go for the group photo.
Check. Check, check, check. Check, check. Check, check.